Hey everybody, Eric Taylor, Trail Hunter USA. You may be asking why I am in my garage, forgive the mess, and standing in front of a big box. As you know, I'm changing my rig around a little bit. I am having a series of videos here where I am building it out for overlanding. This is going to be my second video of changes that's needed to be made to set it up for overlanding. Before, we used to go take a camper with us and park somewhere and then off-road wherever we were at. But now we want to try to Debbie and I want to try to transition into doing some more overlanding where we are not pulling a camper, obviously, and we're going off-roading and finding a spot to camp and setting up there. This is my current setup for my diesel heater for taking a camper with us. As you can tell, it's quite large, heavy, and this is the diesel heater, and all the attachments and everything in here takes up a lot of room. So my next purchase that I made was a new diesel heater. And it comes in this small box. It's a HCalory diesel air car heater, and I'll get this out for you and show you what it looks like. It has its own fuel tank that's going to be exterior, and unlike the other one, it was interior. It's got fittings for it inside, sounds like. I'll have to set this down and pull it out. Well, one thing you notice, it's packed very well. And this is it. All the parts are going to be stored in here. The fuel tank attaches to the outside of it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. I may set up a different system because I want it all to be in here, and then maybe carry my diesel fuel tank so I can have good storage. Everything can be in here. It's not too heavy, and it's compact, obviously, for overlanding in the situation in the Bronco. I've got space is a big issue, so this is going to help improve the space part of it. Okay, I'll kind of open it up. Well, it's got it's a case, but it's going to work just fine, I think. And it's got a manual in it. We'll do that in a minute. Okay, these are all the hoses. Looks like they're all aluminum. This is the exhaust. This is the air intake, I'm assuming. This is the line that goes from the unit into your tent or whatever you have. Obviously, I'm probably going to get a longer hose. Okay, this is our power source. It's already got a plug on it, that's good. It's already got a fuse on it, so that's good. Now these attach to a battery, but what I did on the last one, and I think what most people do, is cut these and put on like a cigarette lighter attachment to plug it into a power bank. a fuel hose, a lot of fuel hose. This is the air intake filter. Alright, this is the exhaust muffler. Looks like brackets. Okay, this is your vent for the hose. And then all the clamps and screws and things that you're going to need, looks like. Okay, now I'm going to show inside here. Okay, inside, it's already got everything hooked up to the heater, which I like. On the other unit I had to hook all this up, and the exhaust has already got some heat wrap on it, so I don't have to worry about the heat wrap. The air vent is already attached to the outside. The fuel is already, the fuel pump, it's already got a filter on it. Don't have to worry about that. And it looks good in here, good and clean. Again, I'll be able to store everything in here. I don't know if there's anything else to show you inside this. And I've gotten it dirty already. But then I can just, then we hook everything up outside, and that's all you have to do on this unit. But there's a big advantage of this one over the other one that I'll get to at the end of this video, so don't leave this video. There's a huge advantage. One advantage I want to point out right now though is the other unit, the exhaust and air intake, you had to attach it underneath, so you had to elevate the unit. This one attaches to the sides. And it's already set up and ready to go. All I have to do is attach the hoses to here. It's already angled away from the unit. I may not use these whole things. I may set this up a little different. But for now, I'm going to put it together for you and we'll get this thing running. Okay, before we get started, here is everything that comes with it. You have the 12-volt power source. It's fused. Again, it's got the plug with it. You got the muffler here, and what you need to attach it. You've got a fuel line. You've got the inlet air filter here. You've got the hose clamps and nuts and bolts and everything you're going to need here to mount it. You got some mounting brackets here. You got the air intake ducting, you got the exhaust ducting, and this is the outtake hose that goes to your tent or whatever you're heating. And then you also got the fuel tank here, and it's got the fittings for it in here. We'll have to drill a hole at the bottom of it. Again, I think I'm going to do something different with that, but that's that. And you also have a manual. Alright, like for most of these diesel heaters, the manuals aren't too good for some reason. I don't understand that, but basically it gives you a picture to go by here. These are pretty easy to do, especially this one. This one's really easy. You just attach the exhaust to the exhaust, the air to the air, and hook this up and you're ready to go. So first thing though is I'm going to set mine up a little different, I think, but for now I'm going to go ahead and put it together. These will attach to here. There's a couple screw points, places, and you use these screws, so there's the only ones in here that you'll be able to use. Okay, and that's going to, you just attach, and with these, all these exhausts, and this one probably not, but these aluminums, you got to adjust the ends to make them fit. But this will go into here. I'm not sure the best way to do that. I think I'm going to go ahead and bend it. Oh, forgot to put the clamp on it. Got to have a clamp. So that just fits in there, and then you clamp it down. Then the exhaust goes on this one. Oh, got the clamp again. Okay, on the other side we have the this comes with a remote, by the way. The other side we have, and we'll go ahead and get this one done. Okay. This hose is extremely long for some reason. It just fits all right there. This one's going to be tough to get to. I'm probably going to have to use a wrench for that one. Then I can get it. Yeah, this is extremely long. I'll definitely be doing something different with this one, and you guys will get to see that if you keep watching my videos. The first time I take this out in the field, I'll have it set up like I want it. And that's, see, I'll be doing something different with that. And then got a clamp for this. Okay, that's all set up now. All we have to do is get the fuel tank set up. Okay, these fittings were on the inside of the fuel tank, and what we'll have to do is drill a hole in the bottom of this and seat the fitting on there. And this attaches in these two holes over on this side with bolts. That's there like this, and you run the fuel line over to this nipple right here, and we will get that done now. Okay, everybody, different day. I had to go get, there's nothing in the instructions on how to put how to set up the fuel tank for the fuel, and I did some testing on drill bits, and I didn't have this 9/32, so I had to go buy it. And for this fitting, 9/32 is going to work the best. I tested it on some plastic I have around here. So what we want to do is drill a hole in the tank here and get this fitting in. And you kind of want to do it on this side because you're going to attach it to the unit this way, and your fuel, your nipple for your fuel going into the unit is on this side. So remember, the deep wells, do it over here. Now we're going to want to clean it up a bit because we want a good seal here. Now take the fitting, and we just want to screw it in this way first, just to get the the hole threaded good. And after we have this drilled, we want to run a string through it, and hopefully we can get the string out this other hole. Alright, now that you have the string through there, we want to run the string through our nipple. You're going to need a thin string, or one that doesn't fray like this one is. And just tie something heavy on the other side, a washer, a nut. Pull this through and out this side. And then we take our other rubber gasket and put on there. And we're going to take our nut, and we're probably just going to hand tighten this. We don't want to get it real tight because we don't want to break that rubber gasket. So that's it, it's in there. Now we want to attach it to our units. So it's got 2 screws that's going to go in here. Let's see, that will fit in here. So all we have to do is get a Okay, now that you have this on, all that's left is to attach the fuel line to here and to the nipple on the back side of this. So this is of course going to be entirely too long. Okay, you can just attach this directly to here, or you can use these clamps too. Just to be safe, I would put the clamps on. And normally what we're going to have to do is heat these up some to get them on the nipples. Now, if you don't have a heat gun, you can use a hair dryer, obviously. Okay, it's on there. The clamps are on the hose. It is set up. Now all we have to do is put a little diesel fuel in there and get it running. Okay, we've got it hooked up. I've got the tank on with a little bit of fuel in there. And I found out, now you can hook this up straight to a battery, or you can put a plug on it to be able to plug it into a jackery or some kind of power unit. But what I discovered is this is just like the 12-volt fridge cord that I have already, so I just plugged my 12-volt cord for my refrigerator into it and it works. Okay, so without the glare, hopefully you can see this. And it talks to you. So you turn it on with the app, and you can use the buttons to turn the heat up or down. It's on Celsius now. I'm not sure how to change it. We're going to let this thing heat up, and we'll check it here in a minute. Okay, it's starting to get heated up now. One thing I forgot to mention, it does have a remote control. I'm not going to use it, but you can. You'll have to get a battery for it. The clicking sound that you hear, if you can, is the pump. You can barely hear it now. A lot of these, my other one, you hear that all the time. It continuously makes that clicking noise. Right now, this one seems to be shut off. You don't hear the clicking sound of the pump. Okay, we have a little bit of heat coming out. It still says it is heating. It's got different modes on it. You just have to play around with this a little bit. But as you can see, you can adjust the level on it. That says 125 degrees Celsius, which is pretty darn hot. I'm gonna turn it down to, you'll never use that in a tent. 132 Celsius. So you can adjust the level to what type, how much heat you want. And you can do all this in your tent without having to be out. You make all these adjustments in your tent without having to be without using this remote control, which you could do that inside the tent too, but you don't have these readings, and you don't have to certainly come out on the board here. Please ignore the junk in my garage. I'm going to stick a thermometer in here and see how warm it is. I've got an infrared thermometer somewhere. Feels pretty warm coming out. I've got it, you saw the mode I had set on. I don't have it in even to the medium range. I have it in minimum. And that says it's 170 degrees Fahrenheit. My fingers are getting too warm to stay there. Yeah, about 170, and that's at the very minimum. Well, actually not the very minimum. So overall, this thing is heating really well. I'm happy with it. It does just as good a job as the other one I had, the bigger model I had, if not better. It's a little quieter too. And when you turn, one other thing, when you turn these off, you can power it off, but don't unplug it until it completely shuts down, because that fan will keep running. I'm going to use the app to turn it off. When you turn it off, you'll hear fans still cooling the unit down, so don't unplug it. That sometimes will run for a little while. You saw the installation process of this machine, the HCalory. It's a great toolbox heater. And you know, if you compare that to what I used to use, you can see how this is going to be great for me for overlanding. It's going to be easy storage. The heater works just as good as this big one does. I mean, if on low setting, I'm getting at 160 degree temperature, so it's going to be no problem heating my tent up. I'm going to make some more modifications to this to make it to where I can store everything inside of this box. I believe it all will fit now, except for the tank, obviously. But there's some more modifications I want to make to it, and I'll do that video in a couple weeks, so hit the notification bell so you'll get all my videos. I'm not going to use this tank because I don't want it sticking out for storage and things. I'm not going to have these on here just for storage reasons. I'm going to set this up where I don't need these brackets on here. That way I can store this toolbox anywhere I want, probably on my vehicle. And then I'll have a diesel fuel tank that I'll set it up to use. I'll have a quick attach, a quick disconnect fuel line on it. So watch my videos. Be sure to check that one out, because you'll want to see the changes I make. But this thing is awesome the way it is. You can use it just like this. You can take this stuff off, put it in this box, carry it around with the fuel tank on the side, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. Versus this thing right here, you know how much room this takes up. So that's about it. There's a link in the description. You guys can go and get 10% off, a discount code and a link, and use that discount code and link to get you 10% off. So I highly recommend it again. So go ahead and get this for your winter overlanding and winter camping. I mean, you can use it in RVs too, so I'm going to use one in my garage actually to heat up my garage. So I really enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.